Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. This week we're talking about focus, because focus is the name of the game. It's everything. You got your pinkies up. So do I, Vicki. It's everything. With focus comes the things that we want or the things we don't want, depending on where focus goes. These are important things. So we're going to get all over that. Backstreet Boys. Okay, there it is. I'm going to play that music. I love Backstreet Boys. I love all the boy bands, by the way. That's my focus. Not really, but you know. When you know what you want and you really understand it, you get to figure it out because you're determined to figure it out. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that when you have a focus on a burning focus on a goal, something that you really want, there's nothing that's going to hold you back from figuring it out. There's nothing that's going to say, you're going to say, oh, well, that's just too hard. I'm on the struggle bus. I can't do this. Fill in the blank, blah, blah, blah. And here comes a list of excuses. Absolutely not. When you want it, you're focused, you're laser focused, and you're going after that thing. It's got your name on it. There's no way. Nobody's going to hold you back. Get out of my way. I'm going for it, right? Everything. This is how it works. This is how we roll when we get like that. And what I found is that when your focus is like that, that's your energy too, because your focus is fueled by that hot desire that you have for that thing that you want. So incredible. So incredible. So to me, it's kind of like this is the vibrant vision that we have in our heads about the things that we want, whether it's a different size jeans, whether it's being able to play with your kids in the way that you want to, whether it's just being able to have a life without so much pain and so much being exhausted all the time. I mean, that's something right there. I always say we are not bikini models, right? We're just not. We want vibrant lives. I don't care where you are, what age, what stage, wherever you are in your life, where your focus goes, your energy goes. That's why it's so important to redirect. Have you ever put on somebody else's glasses and you're going, because you're thinking, oh, I want some new glasses. Those are kind of cute. Let me try those on. And you put them on and you're like, whoa, because they have a different prescription than you or whatever. I mean, I just have readers. These are 150s. This is the thing but I really am more comfortable with them because I can see the things become in focus. You put on glasses for focus, right? You want to read something, you put on your glasses. Well, this is the whole thing. If we want to have this vibrant vision for our lives, then we must have focus. That's transformational. That creates that kind of life that we want. It creates because we figure it out. And here's the thing, this is not earth-shattering breaking news. Everyone's focus needs to be different. We can't just blank subscribe, do this, and it's going to be that. It's not true because maybe that doesn't light you up. Well, we know our Patsy loves to cross stitch, and she did that darling cross stitch for me. That lights her up. That's her passion, and she's made it into a business, and she's done all kinds of things with it. If you gave it to me, I'd say, well, that's cool. I'm not going to do anything with it. It's not my passion. But that doesn't mean that it not being my passion is wrong. Do you see where I'm going with this? We all need to own our own passions and own our own energy for the things that we want to focus on, period. Because if that's what we do, that's where we're going to get our success. And I've seen it over and over again, especially in this group, over and over again on repeat, on repeat. Those who focus get what they want. Those who focus are in the group. Those who focus are doing their Target trifecta smoothies as a habit. Alice wrote a great post today just saying at first she dreaded it and now she loves it. There you go. How do you like that? Why? Because her perspective changed, because her focus changed. Focus absolutely creates the trajectory for your life. It does 100,000 times. It does over and over and over again. If it's hard, then it's going to be hard. If you say it's hard, it will be hard. If you say it's not so hard, I can do this, I am capable, I am able, and you work yourself up into a little bit of an emotional thing and attach to it, it's amazing how much easier it all becomes and how much clearer your vision becomes and how much more vibrant it becomes. That's focus, and it's transformational, 100% transformational. Remember what we talked about, what focus was yesterday. Follow one course until success. That's it. Follow one course until success. So here we are, day 2 on the sprint. Follow this one course until success, because on day 7, you're going to finish out. And on day 8, which is a Monday, you will get up and you will weigh and you will measure and you'll just be blown away. And this, I always say, this is kind of the floodgate. This is the opening to show you what you're capable of. Because how many of us, this is something that I want to see. Pinkies up on this. How many diets have you been on? How many? And how many of you got to like day 3 and you're just like, throw the baby out with the bathwater? You just didn't follow through. I've had so many women who wrote in and said, you know what? This was different. This did the trick. This just, boom, boom, boom. And we're not about fast, crash it off, nothing. We're about getting rid of the inflammatory stuff that's lighting you up in a bad way. I want to light you up in a good way. I want to light you up for the life you want to lead. The life you want to lead. Not the size of jeans, but yeah, you can add that to the equation if you want. But that's it. Look at all the pinkies going up right now. We've all been on so many stupid diets. I mean, we all did, what was the soup diet, the onion soup diet, the cabbage diet or whatever, did that. I told you the story, of my ballet teacher saying, if you were thinner, you'd be really good and you need to get thinner. I was 130 pounds at 5'8". I wasn't thin. I was strong and athletic. And that put me on a roller coaster of dieting from then on, because I thought something's wrong with me. Something's wrong. I guess I'm too fat. Yeah. So we have to be careful of what we're listening to and what old tapes we're listening to back here. We need to be into the place of not looking so much for, yeah, we want to lose the weight. Yeah, we want the jeans. Yeah, we want all that. But more importantly, we want vibrant lives. More importantly, and the consequence of following that vibrancy and having that be the focus is the way that we get to the place of the jeans. We've just had it backwards and in the wrong order. We haven't prioritized our lives enough. We've prioritized more of our butts. Come on. It's not about what you look like. It's about what you feel like. It's not about the size of your jeans. It's about the size of your life. It's about the vibrancy. It's about having relationships. It's about getting up every day and completely loving your life. Can you imagine loving your life and getting rid of the conversation that goes on in your head about, oh, I'm too fat, I'm too this, look at my thighs, this is and when I get thin, then I will. Putting off your life, putting off your bras, you remember my nursing bra story when my kids were teens. Putting off having nice things because you don't feel like you deserve it. You deserve every single thing right now because you are enough right now. Okay? We're on a journey of vibrancy, and vibrancy begins when we just settle ourselves a minute and start to focus. Settle. Yeah, Nancy said she $400 down the drain. Everybody here has done it. We've all done it. And I hate the diet industry. And yes, we do have plans, but you know what our plans are? They're loosely done so that you have a trajectory. So you have, okay, so I get what I need to do here. I get and I understand. Why do you think there's 18 pages to the Hot Milk Sprint? There's 18 pages to describe it and to help you to grow and understand and to be and to have. That's all. And then you take it from there. You pick up the mantle from there. If I were to ask you, if I were to ask you a few people, and I know I could, are you following the plan exactly, or what are you doing? They're going to tell you they're following the principles. The women that I've coached that have done this successfully, they've stayed in it daily. They've focused daily. They are vibrant because that's what they're looking for, is the vibrant life. Not necessarily the genes. Yes, they're there to lose the weight too, but they're finding themselves losing the medications, losing the pain, losing the bad attitude. How about losing that stuff, right? When you focus on vibrancy, you will get it. You will get it because suddenly you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure out what vibrant is for you. And it's going to be personal. It's going to be all about you. It's going to be as personal to you as for Patsy was with the cross stitching. Personal. We get to do that. That's the beauty of having your own life. Nobody's sitting here being a guru and saying, do it this way or forget about it. No, one size never will fit all, ever. I don't care what the label says. It doesn't work that way. No. Hi, Jema, Gwen, Terry. Good to see you. Mary Ann's in the house as well. But this is what it is. Follow one course until success. That's focus right there. So out of focus is distraction. When you're out of focus, you're distracted. You're all over the place. Think about it this way. If I walked around wearing somebody else's glasses, will my eyes ever adjust? Not really. Maybe after a while they might, but to my own damage, that's not a prescription for me. My prescription is here, right here. I got him. You have yours. We all need this. We all need to remember that trusting our inner selves, trusting our higher self, trusting that to get us to the next level is where it's all about. So if we're out of focus, we're scattered all over the place. You know what I mean, right? My fellow ADD. Yes, exactly. Sarah just said it right there. What works for you means that you are working it. A plan doesn't work unless you do. It's true because you can't magically put it on your wall and expect it to do something for you. There's usually action steps involved, right? It's sort of like this, like getting your plan, getting your grocery list, going to the grocery store, bringing home all the groceries, and then just letting all the glorious produce rot in your bin, in your fridge. We don't want to do that. We want to be actual doers. We want to be the women who are the creators of our lives. You can't be the queen of your own life until you've decided to be the creator of your own life. And you can't be the creator until you get focused. Because until you're focused, you're not going to have a vision, especially a vibrant vision, for what it is you want in your life. You're going to be all over the place. And scattered doesn't work. It doesn't work. Scattered just means I got a little bit here and a little bit there and everything's not done. Stay focused. Get one thing done at a time and do it. That's how the whole thing works. So one of the things that we talked about this is probably, 9 months ago or so. But it's easier to be 100% in than to be 90% in. Because when you are 100% in, you're locked in. It's like you're a fighter pilot. You got your target, boop, you lock it in. You're not just sitting there trying to figure it all out. You're locked in. What does that mean? Straight shot. You know exactly what to do. You're locked in. You're locked in. As opposed to just saying, I'm not going to use that laser thing to lock it in. I'm just going to shoot from the hip and see what happens. Well, we all know what happens there. You're going to unload all this ammo, all this energy into nothing. Mary Ann says she's locked and loaded. I love it. Not perfection, but release the ugly and let your beautiful lights shine. That's so beautiful, Mary Ann. That's beautiful. And that's the truth. We let our light shine when we're locked in. And our energy is so much different when we're 100% in than if we're 90% in. If we're 90% in, 10% of us is leaking out and going all over the place. That's why we call it the carousel of crazy. To get off the carousel of crazy means we're done with gurus. We're done with all the books. We're done with all the crazy plans. We're done with crazy supplements that keep you up for 3 days and make you feel horrible. We're done with all of that. What we want is we want the science to show us what it is that we need to do in order to honor these vessels of ours. You know, God poured himself into you. And we get to pour ourselves out to him and out into the world because we're made on purpose for purpose. We don't get to find that unless we're focused, though. We don't. So creating focus then is a matter of redirection, isn't it? I know all about redirection. I've been dealing with a puppy for the last few days. It's only been, actually, it's a week today. But you know, it's a lot of energy going into making sure that the puppy's going to go outside to go to the bathroom, that he has something to chew that's appropriate and not a table leg. You know, all of these things. And it's just constant making sure that your focus isn't lost on everything else, but you've got your focus. You got one eyeball there on your pup. And look, what if we did that with ourselves? What if we did that with our sprint this week? What if we did that with our exercise? Okay, I'm just going to go do 10 minutes. I'm going to throw on YouTube and do 10 minutes with light weights or whatever. Just a little bit here, a little bit there. It all adds up. So creating thought focus is a matter of redirection, your thoughts, your activities, relationships even. So how do we get from fuzzy by wearing somebody else's glasses to focus wearing our own glasses that fit us? This is simple. We start first of all with the what. With the what. What lights you up? Not what lights me up. Not what lights up your neighbor or Lucy or Marianne or anybody. You don't need to know what lights them up. You need to know what lights you up. Your what is important is as important as your why. But what is it? What is it? The last thing we look at, of course, is the how. We don't need to worry so much about the how as we need to worry about the what and the why. What is it that lights me up? Why does it light me up? Those two things just do everything. They do everything. So what you value most means then there's probably something you're going to have to give up for that value equation. Okay? So for example, I'll give you an example. I had to give up all the time in the world that I had to myself so that I could redirect some of that energy on a puppy. You had to do this as a new parent because you can't just expect your child to grow up by themselves. They're going to need a lot of direction. They're going to need a lot of focus from you. So we have to look at when we're deciding what our what and our why is, not only what are they, but what am I willing to give up? And what am I willing to get back? Those things are good questions. And I would just strongly suggest you be using a journal when you use it. Number 2 is what are you willing to commit to? Commit. You know, the difference between marriage and dating is in dating, you can go anywhere you want. You know, you can, unless you've made a, commitment, there's even a smaller commitment there. But when you're committed in a marriage, it's like, I'm locked in. This is it. You are it. And this is an exclusive relationship. You know, it's a circle between the two of you. It's done. It's a done deal. Versus if you're dating, you're all over kingdom come. You're all over the place doing this, that, and the other, and dating this guy over here, dating that guy over there. Life's a big buffet, right? So if you're willing to commit and stay focused, you're going to have a much more, here's for marriage, right? It is that much more of an intensity. It's a higher level than of just dating around. That's all. That's what it is. Number 3, where's your time going? Is your time, the thing that you say that you focus on, the thing that you want, do you have time going toward that? It's like what Sarah was saying earlier. She was talking about where the action that needs to happen. You can't just have a plan. If you're going to work the plan, there's going to be some action that goes on. There's going to be some, chopping of some onions. There's going to be some bone broth making. There's going to be things that you do, making time to go do it. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Sarah, look at that. Gosh, that was a brilliant one. Focusing on your jean size is like caring more about the frame than you do about the prescription of the lenses. But nobody's going to go out and buy ugly glasses, right? They go hand in hand. We want cute glasses, and we also want to be able to see through them. This is your vibrant life right here. These are your genes. That's good. I love that. I'm going to be doing that. I got that one. That's Sarah gave it to me. So thank you, Sarah. It's so true. And so where your time's going, if you have to look into your focus and see where your time is going. If your time isn't lining up with what you say your focus is, then you're out of focus. So again, we have to go back to that whole thing. We have a resource for you if you don't know where your time is going. It's savingdinner.com/time. And that is a free link. You can get the time block. And all this time block sheet is not so we get persnickety perfectionist about it. It's just so that you can have an understanding of where your time is actually going. It makes a big difference. Because if you see, oh my gosh, I frittered away 4 hours on Facebook today, then you know that you can plug some of that time up with doing other things that are more focused on your goal. Number 4, this is a big one for me, and it's create peace. We create peace in pieces, really, because first of all, I talk to you about visual peace all the time. You know what I do at night when the dog is all done and he's in his kennel and everything? I go and pick up all of his toys and put everything away. I have a big basket for it. Everything gets put away. Do you know why? I don't want the visual clutter. He knows where his toys are, but it's nice to have things come out, then things get back. When we do all of that, I mean, talk about different. Talk about changing things up. It just makes all the difference in the world. So start with the visual clutter. And then you get to go into we talk about it, heart, mind, body, and soul. Then you get to go into your heart and into your soul and journal your little heart out. Journaling is a way to get rid of the jumble, or to at least sort it out. We all have a jumble up here. We think one thing, and another, and then they all kind of collide on this big roller coaster inside of our heads. It's a big mishmash. It's like going into the jewelry box and all your necklaces are all attached, or your bracelets or whatever. But that's just the way it is. That's life in the fast lane. That's how we roll. That's how we operate. But we can create peace simply by journaling and starting to sort some of this stuff out. And believe me, you'll start to see a pattern after a while. And then meditation is a real source of inner peace for your mind. It takes you from this place of just always like, on the go and cortisol soaring, to bringing the cortisol levels down, to being calm, to even seeing. And if you've got an iWatch like I do, you can see your pulse rate come down, your resting pulse rate come down. Interesting, right? You know why? Because our bodies are all connected. They are not one piece over here and one piece over there. There's connection all the way through. Number 5 is spend some time in the places of support. You know, it's hard to do it on your own. It's hard to be a one-man show. We're made, and it's in our DNA to connect, to be tribal, to be a part of a community. And we've got those set up. And when you've got somebody who's got your back and says something encouraging, or says, hey, how about this idea? You know, it makes all the difference. Jenny's getting ready for her big move. They're moving to Montana from Oklahoma, and she's getting ready. She goes to the community and says, what do you think about, food on the road? Like, give me some ideas. Everybody went right along there and said, hey, okay, do this. This cooler's better. Try this. It was fabulous. That's why we do that kind of a community. That's why. I mean, Jenny could have spent 10 minutes and just started, Googling around and found out. But she went to the community, because we go to our communities for support. We go to our communities for encouragement. We go because they're real people on the other side. It's not some search engine. We need that. Number 6, I always say that too. And number 6 is we need that alone time, because that journaling is alone time. That meditation is alone time. And I'm going to think about somebody like Sarah. Sarah's got 4 children. When does she do all of this? She gets up in the wee hours. Darko 30 is her rising time. She gets it done then. She gets all the stuff done then. So she can be focused and present for the family. You make a sacrifice on one end, going to bed, early, and not sitting up and watching Jimmy Kimmel. You go to bed early so that you can have that time to yourself, because that's more precious. That's more focused. That's going to get you to the goal and the vibrant life that you want. Number 7 is inflammatory food equals an inflammatory life. Sorry, food does matter. Food does count. And the better you do with all of this, it's so interesting because we have, in our household, I've had it, just like I've had some gluten-free pasta and some this, that, and the other things, all these different stuff. And I just finally just said, enough of this. It's just toying with the sides. And I mean, this is stuff that I've had vendors, different companies send me and stuff. And it's just like, no. And I took Mark off it. You're going to love this. Of course this happened. I took Mark off and I just said, no, you're just doing color rice with me. I'm not making rice anymore for you. You were just doing this and I'm just saving the steps. And I said, you don't need it either. You really don't. Of course, he loses 20 pounds. There you are. Anyway, so that's how that all works out. That's how men are. And, but I want to just say that, focus happens when you start with peace. Focus happens when you start with peace. How do I line myself up for peace? How do I have peace in every area of my life? Well, it starts with all of these things, and focus is the number one way, right? You know it. Focus is the number one way. Make sure that you follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. And remember what Socrates said, the secret to change is to focus all your energy, not on fighting the old, but on building the new. That's what we do every single day right here. And I'm so thrilled that you are here, that you're focusing on the new, that you're focusing on the things that you want, and that you're focused on the vibrant life. It's yours for the asking, by the way. Peace be with you.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.